country in a cultural decline, and how do we turn it around? Let's talk to National Review columnist Mark Steyn, who joins us today from Vermont. Good morning to you, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Steve.
Mark, once upon a time, you were born in Canada, but you decided that you wanted to head south, young man, to the land of opportunity. And now, as it turns out, we're not just opportunity, we're entitlement.
Yeah, that's right. I'd heard about this thing called the American dream. They don't really have a Canadian dream or a Belgian dream or a Greek dream. There was an American dream, and I wanted a piece of it. And just as I got here, the United States decided to adopt the policies that have brought the rest of the Western world to ruin. When the takers are able to outvote the makers, you are a nation in steep decline. And in this case, it's one thing to talk about redistribution of wealth, but we're actually redistributing from the future to the present. We are borrowing money that is yet to be earned by generations yet to be born in order to bribe people with the Obama phones and all the rest right here and now in the present tense. That's very immoral, apart from anything else.
Well, Mark, but if you're a taker, you don't care about tomorrow. You want your Obama phone with 120 minutes right now.
Yeah, I know. That's where the idea of the left, that somehow it's compassionate and communitarian, and the right is all about selfishness and greed. There's nothing compassionate and communitarian about saying, as they do in Greece, I got mine and I don't care if it bankrupts the state, just keep the checks coming until I'm dead. Sure. And basically on Tuesday we had a US electorate that voted for pretty much the same thing. By the way, sooner or later reality will kick in. Every American, man, woman, child, non-Nigerian refugee, retiree, or newborn baby, their share of the debt is just shy of $250,000 per person. Just shy of $750,000 per family. In the end, you'll pay for that Obama phone either by paying off that share of the debt or by total societal collapse. You can have one or the other.
Yeah, we've got a graphic, Mark. We're going to put it up. Means-tested entitlement spending. In 1970, it was $10 billion, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and this past year, it's gigantic, to $569 billion. There's no doubt, you know, there are a lot of people out there who live on entitlements and Social Security and things like that. They rely on it. They need it. There are a lot of people who are hungry, but at the same time, the number has just gotten so big, you got to figure some of the people are simply gaming the system, and perhaps they could work but choose not to because many feel, you know what, why go out there and do a job for $45,000 a year when the government would essentially give me about the same and I can watch TV.
Yeah, and we've now got just shy of 50 million people on food stamps, which aren't just for food. You can go to the local strip joint and pay for a lap dance with food stamps,
well,
because it would be judgmental.
I'm going to have to just trust you on that. Before you go, Mark, we see the graphic. We see we're on the precipice of that entitlement cliff. How do we turn things around?
Well, we've got to be honest about it. That's the tragedy of the election. The only thing that matters is that this is the brokest nation in history. It's broker than anyone has ever been, ever. And we're just going to have a so-called bipartisan deal that kicks the can down the road for another 12 or 18 months. If we don't get real about this, America will slide off the cliff and drag most of the Western world down with it. And it's not going to be pretty when you hit the bottom.
You're right about that. All right, Mark Steyn. You can read him in the pages and online at the National Review online. Mark, thank you very much for joining us today from Vermont.
Always a pleasure, Steve.